The Indiana Fever had just secured their fourth straight win, reaching 4 games above .500 for the first time since 2015. Celebration erupted on the court, players high-fiving, smiling, and cheering from the bench, with Caitlin Clark enthusiastically applauding from the sideline despite her lingering groin injury. But amidst this electric atmosphere, one figure stood apart: head coach Stephanie White. Instead of joining the celebration, she wore an expression of unmistakable disappointment. As the post-game microphone reached her, the mood instantly shifted. White shocked fans, media, and even her own team with sharp criticism, calling out the Fever's performance as lackluster and demanding the team grow up. The stark contrast between her cold critique and the team's joyful celebration sent shockwaves through the WNBA community. What could lead a coach to publicly criticize her team during their hottest streak in nearly a decade? Why wasn't White satisfied, even after another victory? The answer lies deeper than a single game. It reveals what separates good teams from truly great ones. And the Fever were about to learn that lesson the hard way. To fully grasp Coach Stephanie White's unexpected frustration, we need to rewind and understand what's been happening behind the scenes with the Indiana Fever. Just months earlier, the Fever's season outlook was uncertain at best. Expectations were modest, with many analysts predicting another rebuilding year, even after the team added veteran presence and a star rookie in Caitlin Clark. But suddenly, things clicked. Indiana surged forward, defying expectations by securing their longest winning streak in years, even while Clark sat sidelined due to a stubborn groin injury. Yet, beneath the surface, a more complicated story unfolded. White, known for her meticulous attention to detail and championship-driven mindset, wasn't content with mere victories. After a narrow win against Dallas, marked by inconsistent execution and lapses in defensive discipline, White had seen enough. Despite external celebrations, internal tension had begun to mount due to repeated mistakes and lack of maturity in critical moments, problems White had previously hinted at in post-game interviews throughout the season. Now, White's public criticism after the Fever's fourth consecutive win wasn't spontaneous, it was carefully calculated. A deliberate message aimed directly at her players. She emphasized the importance of discipline, accountability, and growth, raising stakes considerably. White's stark message was clear: winning isn't enough if the standards aren't met. But would this tough love approach inspire her team or break their newly found momentum? The Fever were now facing a test far more significant than any single game. They were facing their own identity. As the Fever took the court against the Dallas Wings, all eyes focused on how they'd perform without their sideline star, Caitlin Clark. On paper, the game appeared successful, with Kelsey Mitchell leading confidently, Arie McDonald energizing the offense, and Chloe Bibby hitting clutch shots. The scoreboard indicated a strong performance, and fans cheered every point scored. But beneath the surface, issues simmered. Careless turnovers, missed defensive assignments, and inconsistent energy were clear warning signs. Coach Stephanie White, known for her unwavering standards, watched the Fever's flawed execution closely. On critical possessions, Fever defenders failed to communicate effectively, leaving Dallas shooters open for easy looks. Meanwhile, even amid offensive bursts, Indiana players appeared distracted, making rushed decisions and failing to control the game's tempo. White paced the sideline, visibly frustrated, sensing her team's lapse in focus could unravel their recent momentum. This tension peaked when the Fever nearly squandered a significant lead late in the third quarter. Several back-to-back turnovers allowed the Wings to close the gap dangerously fast. White called an urgent timeout, sharply addressing her team's lapses with visible intensity. Cameras captured her animated gestures, passionately demanding accountability from every player. Though the Fever ultimately secured the win, White's message was unmistakable. Mere victories were no longer sufficient. If Indiana hoped to sustain their recent success and make a serious playoff push, they needed consistency, maturity, and relentless discipline, qualities the coach clearly felt were lacking. With Coach Stephanie White's harsh words still ringing in their ears, the Fever took the floor after that crucial timeout, desperate to re-establish their identity. The stakes felt higher than ever. Every possession was now under a microscope. Fans and commentators alike focused intently, wondering how the team would respond. Arie McDonald, sensing the urgency, immediately sparked a rally, slicing through defenders to score crucial baskets, momentarily calming tensions. But then, as Indiana regained momentum, another lapse occurred. Natasha Howard committed a careless turnover, prompting a frustrated Coach White to visibly throw up her hands in disbelief. The body language between coach and players was palpable, tension radiating off the sideline. White's expressions conveyed not only frustration but genuine disappointment, heightening the emotional intensity of the game. In a defining moment, the Fever found themselves scrambling on defense, leaving Paige Bueckers wide open for a crucial three-pointer. The ball arced through the air. As the entire arena collectively held its breath and rimmed out, Indiana secured the rebound, quickly converted in transition, and managed to rebuild a more comfortable lead. This moment served as a symbolic turning point, a clear reminder of how close the Fever were to unraveling. Despite surviving this critical stretch, it became evident why White remained unsatisfied. The Fever were winning, but they were doing it dangerously, without the discipline and consistency that championship teams possess. White's tough love approach now faced its ultimate test. Would it inspire growth or lead to greater internal conflict? As the final buzzer echoed through Gainbridge Fieldhouse, signaling another Indiana Fever win, the team celebrated smiling, hugging, and visibly relieved. Yet, even amid the joy, a shadow lingered. Stephanie White's harsh critique had cast a somber tone that resonated beyond the final score. In the immediate aftermath, post-game interviews revealed a stark divide in perceptions. Fans and media debated fiercely online, questioning whether White's tough love stance was warranted. Some argued that her criticism was exactly the accountability the Fever needed to evolve into a legitimate contender. Others felt she was unfairly dampening spirits during a critical winning streak. Inside the locker room, players responded with cautious optimism. Kelsey Mitchell acknowledged White's concerns, stating plainly that "we can be better, and we know it." Ari McDonald echoed that sentiment, highlighting their coach's high expectations as motivation rather than criticism. Yet privately, team insiders hinted at tension. Some players reportedly felt disheartened that White chose to spotlight negatives rather than celebrate recent achievements. The broader media landscape amplified these contrasting reactions. Sports analysts praised White's championship mindset, citing legendary coaches known for similar tough approaches. Yet others questioned if this directness could harm team chemistry long-term. As fans engaged passionately online, one reality emerged clearly: the Fever had reached a critical juncture. Would White's words galvanize the team toward sustained excellence, or inadvertently fracture the unity they'd painstakingly built? The Fever's response in upcoming games would soon answer this critical question. Coach Stephanie White's pointed criticism after a significant win speaks volumes about the broader mentality required to build a genuine championship team. It emphasizes a fundamental truth: consistent winning in professional sports isn't just about talent, but about sustaining high standards regardless of outcomes. White's intense scrutiny reveals a critical approach often used by legendary coaches to prevent complacency celebrating victories without ignoring underlying weaknesses. Sports analysts quickly highlighted how White's strategy aligns with championship-caliber coaching philosophies. Teams coached by legends such as Pat Summitt and Gino Auriemma have consistently thrived under intense, demanding environments, indicating that White's tough love tactics could push the Fever to new heights. Yet, there's a delicate balance. While rigorous expectations can sharpen performance, they can also strain relationships if not managed carefully. This situation opens an essential conversation about player-coach dynamics and effective leadership in modern sports. The Fever's reaction moving forward will reflect not just their basketball skill, but their mental fortitude and team chemistry. White's direct approach sends a clear message to her players, fans, and the broader league. Excellence requires accountability, discipline, and resilience. Now the Fever must confront these expectations head-on. Can the players use White's criticism as motivation to elevate their game? Or will the weight of these standards become overwhelming? This delicate balance between tough accountability and supportive leadership will define the Fever's immediate future and, potentially, their championship aspirations. The entire league is watching closely to see if White's bold approach pays off. As the Fever celebrated their fourth straight win, Coach Stephanie White's critical comments offered a sobering counterpoint, highlighting the challenging journey ahead. Her critique wasn't simply harsh, it was strategic, aimed at shaping a resilient championship mindset. White reminded her team and the league that true greatness demands more than just scoreboard victories. It requires relentless discipline and consistent execution. Now, the Indiana Fever stand at a pivotal crossroads. The immediate path forward hinges on their response to this adversity. Will they internalize White's message and elevate their standards? Or will her demanding approach unintentionally fracture team unity? Only time will reveal whether this critical juncture propels the Fever toward historic success or exposes deeper issues. What do you think? Was Coach White right to push her team, or should victory speak louder than criticism? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more WNBA insights.